Hello, I hope you're well. Welcome or welcome back to my channel and my first real sit-down video in yonks. But today is an exciting one. We're bringing back the Her-storyathon Readathon for 2024, and I could not be more excited. So we're gonna go into all of the details with you, and everything will also be in the description box below. But suffice it to say, this is the most wonderful time of the year for your history-loving people like me. So, what is the Her-storyathon? It is a Women's History Month themed readathon that I have hosted with Charlotte from over at Connie Reads or Coney Reads. Really, Charlotte, I should know how to pronounce it by now, but we've hosted this. This will be the third year in a row. And it's a readathon, to be honest, that you can participate in a number of ways. You can just read one book for it. You can try to do an entire blackout of our bingo board. You can try to do like a tic-tac-toe version. You can pick and choose. You create your own adventure, is what I'm saying. So Her-storyathon will run for the entire month of March, which is Women's History Month. So March 1st through 31st, you can, as I said, read one book, 2, 3, 9, a million, whatever floats your boat, to be quite honest. And really the only sort of caveat for participating is that whether you read fiction or nonfiction, the focus of the book has to be a woman who actually lived or is currently living today. That's the only thing. Like, we love your fictional characters, but we want to learn about real women who lived and accomplished so much and should get their recognition for it. So what are our challenges for this round? As we said, we have a bingo board. It'll be linked in the description box for you. So the first is different country, and that is self-explanatory. You read about a woman from a country other than the one that you currently reside in. So in my case, I would just read about any woman who is not from the United States. That's it. The world is literally my oyster. So same for you. Next is writing women. Also very self-explanatory, but read a book, whether it's fiction or nonfiction, about a woman writer. So a novelist, a playwright, a poet, journalist. As long as their form is written, have at it. Screenwriter, that's another one. Screenwriters too. Next is multiple generation, one book. And you can kind of approach this in a variety of ways. The first is to read a book about a multi-generational family that existed. A book that comes to mind right away is Romantic Outlaws, which is about Mary Wollstonecraft and her daughter Mary Shelley. It's one nonfiction biography, but it covers both of them. So you could do that and find some really impressive families with incredible legacies and go from there. Or conversely, it could just be a women's movement or some sort of movement that women across multiple generations were involved in. So that could be the suffrage movement, which covered decades and multiple generations of women, abolition, civil rights, whatever. It could be a line of royalty. There's really a bunch of ways to approach this one, and as we said, choose your own adventure, so you can bend it a little bit to make it work for you. Next, we have letters, memoirs, diaries. This is a bingo square that has appeared on a few of our bingo boards at this point. It might actually have been on all of them, but the idea is to read a collection of letters, diary entries, memoir, again about a historical woman. And this could be nonfiction, I think that goes without saying, but there are books actually out there that are fictionalized journal or diary collections for historical women one that stands out is the one on Josephine Bonaparte by Sandra Guland, which is a trilogy that I was obsessed with when I first read it. So that's an example of how fiction could be applied to this one, in case you need an idea or two. Next, we have underrepresented women. So this is BIPOC women, LGBTQ plus women, women with disabilities, veterans, anything that you feel like is a group of women or a particular woman who has been underrepresented or marginalized in print, movies, film, throughout history, you name it, you got it. So this is just about reading about those women, again, who deserve recognition and maybe have not gotten it up until this point. Next is activist women or activists and politicians. Again, this is one where you can read about women involved in different political movements over time. I already mentioned a few: civil rights, suffrage movement, abolition, but maybe they're anti-war during Vietnam, maybe they're a politician, a judge, anything like that fits the bill here. So it's just about celebrating those women who get out there, make their voices heard, and stand up for what they feel is right. Next is Early Achiever, which I have to say is probably one of my favorite for this year's bingo board. It's about celebrating those women who make you question your life choices. They are the young women who have accomplished so much before the age of 25. So these are like your Greta Thunbergs, your Mary Shelley type people, Simone Biles. Like, they've accomplished and seen some shit, for lack of a better term, in their short lives. And me at 34, I'm like, what have I been doing? Why have I not hit my first million? Why am I not an Olympic gold medalist? Why don't I have a book published? It's those type of achievers that we want to celebrate with this one. Then we have Women at Leisure. This is a great opportunity to think of like women in the arts. So composers, singers, performers, artists, just sport people, I know sportsmen, equestrians, all of that stuff. Women who do things in their free time. Their recreational time is important to them, and those are their passions, and that's what they thrive on. We're celebrating and recognizing them this year. And the last of our bingo card prompts is stage and screen queens. So your actresses, your directors, your screenwriters, your costume designers for both the stage, so the theater, or also movie and TV. So this one is another category that I'm pretty excited about, and I have to give the credit to Charlotte because this was her brainchild. But this category should be a really, 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 really fun one. So yes, those are the 2024 prompts. As I said, your only requirement to participate is that you read at least one book, and that book has to be fiction or nonfiction about a woman who lived or is currently alive. But you can participate with one book, 2, 3, 9 if you want to do a book for each prompt. You can also double up, which is my thing. I am all about efficiency these days, so I love finding a book that will cover like 3 or 4 prompts. You're more than welcome to do that and get a bingo blackout that way. Have at it. But there are some other ways that you can also participate that aren't necessarily book and reading related. One, which is back from last year, is to go take a photo from a location connected to a historical woman. So if you live in an area where you can take advantage and play tourist for a day and go learn a little bit of history about a particular woman, go for it. And then the other way is to watch a movie, documentary, TV show, listen to a podcast maybe about a woman in history. So there are a ton of history focused podcasts out there specifically on women. I can provide recommendations if you need them, but that's one way to do it. Listen to an episode, watch a movie, have a ton of recommendations for that. TV shows, also got a ton of recommendations for that. But that's another non-bookish prompt that you can incorporate into your Women's History Month. So yeah, those are just some non-bookish ways that you can participate and celebrate Women's History Month with us. As I already said at the beginning of the video, all of this information is also in the description box. If you're not subscribed to Charlotte's channel, then go ahead and visit her, say hi, and subscribe. But you will find the link to our bingo cards and graphics. You'll find our Instagram handle, our hashtag, and just all of that vital information in order to participate. Oh, we will also have a story graph challenge, so that will be linked below as well. So if you are on the story graph and are participating, you can put your TBR together over there and share it with the rest of us. But all right, guys, that's it for me from now. Thank you so much for watching. I really do hope you participate. And yeah, if you liked this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, comment, and subscribe, and all that jazz. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.